Hi friend, welcome back to your channel. Here are some things I don't miss about corporate and like the corporate world. I have been out of corporate world for maybe a year and a half now, because last time I was officially in the corporate world, um, it was September 2023, and that was my last dip into the corporate world. Ever since then, I haven't had a corporate job. And what I mean by corporate is, literally working for a corporation and going into an office and working with people and working on projects and, coordinating events and managing people and things like that. That's literally what I mean by corporate. And here's some things I just don't miss about it, Like, I say this, but to be completely honest with you, if a corporate world or a corporate job called me tomorrow and said, we're going to pay you this amount of money for you to work this job, I will probably take it. But I also don't miss it necessarily. So here's some things I don't miss. I don't miss the competition and climbing the ladder. It was always a competition. Like, I felt like even when you are working in your lowest, even if you're like a low on the totem pole at a company, you're always in competition with the people that are also in the same position as you. You're always trying to fight to get to the top. You're always trying to get your manager's attention. And I certainly don't miss having to fight to get my manager's attention. Having to fight usually means you're working a lot, working longer hours, putting in a lot of time, and the work at the end of the day ends up not even being good enough because you overworked yourself. So I definitely don't miss the competition at all. I don't miss the fakeness. I don't miss people looking at you straight in the face, right? And saying one thing and then turning around and saying something else to your manager about you. And it's pretty terrifying because you think that people are in your corner when they're at the same time they're not. And I don't miss that at all. A perfect example would be my manager telling me one time that I was doing a good job at a company that I was at. And next thing you know, my manager on top of her said, "Oh, I wasn't doing that good of a job." So I don't know what she told my manager to make her think that I wasn't doing a job, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's like they say one thing to your face and then they really mean something else. Another example of the fakery is when people literally pretend to be your friend when they're not your friend at all at the end of the day. I had somebody that I thought was my friend in the company that I used to work at, and after I was let go and fired from the company, never heard from her again. And I thought we were cool, but it is what it is. People are weird. People are weird. Something else I don't miss is the corporate jargon. If you have never worked in corporate, you probably aren't aware there's a lot of jargon. I think every company has their own jargon, but like corporate is like a whole different beast of jargons, and it's so freaking creepy. And it kind of goes back to the fakery of it all because everything they're saying is just jargon. There's no really like oomph behind it. It's like, what is it? Let's circle back, like things like that. It just means like we'll talk about it later. Let's do this offline. Just means like get offline and we'll talk about whatever it is we need to talk about. It's just I freaking hated the corporate jargon. Like nobody talked normally, and I'm like, why are we in this meeting talking like we don't really know how to speak English and we're all robots? It's freaking weird. I hated it. Another thing is the commute. I don't miss the commute. A lot of my commutes were about an hour to get to work every day, and I don't miss that. My job right now only takes me 30 minutes. I don't miss that at all. I don't miss the commute. It's such a headache, like waking up at like 6 in the morning and trying to get to work at 7, or or trying to get to work at 8. I don't really miss that. It's not fun. When the pandemic hit, that was the best thing for corporate because I had to stay home and work from home, and that was really fun. But I don't miss the commute at all. Another thing is I don't miss the back-to-back meetings. There were times where a lot of corporate companies, I've always felt like you're not working, you're just in meetings. Your work is just talking about work. Like half of your work is just talking about work that you're going to be doing, which is like terrible because like you're spending maybe 2 to 3 hours on actual work, but then you end up being stuck in meetings all day rather than doing the actual work, which is one of the most annoying things about corporate, because at the end of the day, the work isn't really what matters. It's how the work that we're doing looks to people and how it looks on paper, right? So I don't miss that at all. I also don't miss due dates. When you're doing projects and stuff for a corporation, the due dates were always very like anxiety inducing, and I freaking hated them when I was doing them. So I don't miss that either. So that's another thing. What else don't I miss? Yeah, I just don't miss. Don't miss the pressure of having to work. That pressure is always like this like intense pressure when you're working in corporate, that you have to feel like you have to accomplish so much in such a little time. And everybody feels like they are like on edge all the time and stressing out all the time, and I don't miss that at all. So those are the things I don't miss about corporate. There are some things I do miss about corporate, of course. I miss the money. The stability was nice. The money was nice. And of course the benefits. But a lot of the things is like this. I can make my own money, maybe not as much money. I can make my own money and I can give myself benefits. So, but otherwise, everything else I don't miss. And, but again, if I were to get, but I'll be honest with you, if a company calls me tomorrow and says, do you want to work? I'll be like, yes, I do want to work. So, but generally, I don't miss having to like appease to somebody, always trying to impress somebody. I don't miss that at all. So, there it is. Have you ever worked in corporate? Do you miss corporate life? If not, would you like to work in corporate one day? Is that a thing? I don't know, but that's just my thoughts.